Hey, what is up, guys? This is Solanum-Heart, Tristan here, bringing you Childhood Stories, episode number 5. Now, guys, this series is not going anywhere. Trust me, it's not gonna die on you or whatever. But yeah, so let's get right into it. So, as a child, you know, around the age of 8 or 9, I had some pretty good times, and I was actually outside more than I used to be, more than I am now, per se, because now Call of Duty is a thing. And yeah, so this was a pretty weird story, but it is definitely hysterical. So one day we got this great idea to build a homemade zip line. Yes, guys, a homemade zip line. Now, as you can probably picture in your head, I was gonna do some awesome artwork here, but I was like, you guys will understand. So there was a little tree. I'm talking like 4 inches thick. I'm just kidding. So there's a little tree, and then about 20 to 30 feet away, there was a bigger tree that was about 2 feet in thickness. And we had this fantastic idea to take a rope and tie it to a higher part on the bigger tree, because we knew how zip lines worked, and then to the highest part on the smaller tree, which was lower than the highest part on the taller tree, of course, as you probably know. But doing so, we tightened the wire as much as we could. You know, it was just a standard like a rope, like one of those cables. And oh god, this is so bad. So we tied that, and we're like, okay, this is pretty straight, but the tree is bending, the small little tree, because, you know, it got smaller when it got to the top, and it was just this tiny little tree, like a twig. And so we managed to do that, and we're like, oh my god, what are we gonna use to slide down? And us, being the awesome-witted people that we are, decided on another rope. Yeah, that's right. Another rope to slide down on a rope. Friction much? See, we didn't really care. We just wanted to have a good outdoorsy fun time. So, and by the way, it was me, my brother, my neighbor, and his sister. So, we're all doing this, and we're like, yeah, it's a great idea. Woo! And it works out great for several runs. And well, I think we had 2 knots on the end of the smaller rope that you would put your hands around and put it on the other rope and then just slide down. It actually worked pretty decently. You could get the majority of the way down. And I'm surprised the other tree didn't just snap off. You know, it would bend even more as you went down. It's like, no bueno, you know. So it was kind of frightening in that aspect. But we kept going, and you know, we had our fair share of fun with it. And then it reached a point where we were like, you know, I think I'm done for the day. But our neighbors, you know, our neighbor, the boy who was like our friend, was just like, hey, nah, man, nah, I want to go on one last one. And what we hadn't told him, because you'd have to climb up the tree, and then freaking, oh god, I still remember it. And then you'd have to climb up the tree and then put the rope around and then go down. Is the rope that you would put your hands on, the zipline rope, had worn down. As you guys can probably imagine, you know, rope on rope, it's gonna wear down. So it had worn down to like a threatenable point. And oh god, for some reason we all just let it slide. So he gets up there. So he gets up there, and I don't know why we didn't tell him that the rope was about to break, but he climbs up the 15 or so feet higher on this tree, and he puts the rope around. He didn't even notice, surprisingly. You know, we were youngins. And
now, could you verify that it was actually 15 feet tall, or are you just saying that because you were shorter back?
Hey, nobody asked you, all right? So it was pretty high up there, and we just let him go. And I don't know why we weren't like, dude, you really should not go on, you know, the rope here, because it's about to break. And he puts his full weight on the rope right next to the tree. Like, he's just leaving the tree. And there are some rocks, like some, you know, halfway in the ground, halfway out of the ground, rocks right at the stump of this tree. And he just falls on his butt and just wham! Like, oh god, it was so horrible, because I remember him crying. I remember it's like, why didn't we tell him? You know, and like, oh god, the neighbors came over. It was just so awful. We felt so bad. We're like, dude, I'm sorry. And his parents were pretty pissed. I mean, as I can imagine, you know, he was probably pretty pissed, man. He was in a bunch of pain. He was fine. He didn't break anything as far as I know. I don't think he broke, like, his butt or his tailbone or whatever you want to call it or anything, but so there's another awesome story from my childhood. And yeah, I think that's all I really have to say on the matter. But it was a pretty good time while it lasted. I just really don't know what was our reasoning for not telling him the rope was about to snap and that he should not have gone. But whatever, it makes for a great childhood stories, and you can't change the past. So, you know, whatever. Till time machines come out, then I'll be president. No, just kidding. Yeah, so I really hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Childhood Stories. And the gameplay, I'm sorry if you didn't like it. I don't know, it's just kind of some gameplay I put together. And I tried to use a different class as much as I could. You know, I put on, like, different equipment and different secondaries and stuff. So it's kind of different. And my AC-130 kind of sucked. But all that really should matter to you guys is the actual story itself. And I hope you did enjoy, because it was a pretty epic story, and I have plenty more where that come from, guys. So, yeah, stay tuned, and don't think the series is going anywhere. See you guys later.